All right, all right, all right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and in today's video, we're going to be testing and demonstrating and trying to figure out which 140 RPM legendary hand cannon is the best right now in PvP for Destiny 2. So the reason why we're comparing the Palindrome Adept to the Fatebringer Time Lost is for this reason right here. Last weekend in Trials, this is the top 10 weapons list right here. We have Chaperone at the very top. No surprises there. Number 2 is the Palindrome Adept, and number 3 is the Fatebringer Time Lost. So these two weapons are of the same archetype. One is in the kinetic slot, one is in the energy slot. So the numbers are also extremely close. Which one is better though, right? That's the question that we're going to be discussing a bit today. So the first thing I want to talk about when you're using these two is you might think, oh, well, one has way better range than the other one or something like that. It's important to understand that the God roll for the Fatebringer Time Lost and the God roll for the Adept Palindrome are going to have almost exactly the same range. So when I say the God roll for Fatebringer Time Lost, I'm talking about the Eye of the Storm explosive payload roll. Okay, you would have on this Eye of the Storm explosive payload. Mine is not a perfect God roll, so keep that in mind. You would also want on this, you'd want accurized rounds in this slot right here. Maybe hammer forged rifling, so you get that. And you could do ranged masterwork, or you can also have a little bit of handling if you want to mix that in there. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't have to be a full maximum range Fatebringer Time Lost to be a God roll, in my opinion. And then the same thing for the Palindrome Adept. We'll have rangefinder, quick draw, and in this slot right here would probably be really nice to have ricochet rounds. And then the same thing, we're going to go for as much range or a little bit of handling is not too bad for these two God rolls, as I'm presuming in this video. So now, if you do have those exact rolls, me and Dwayne both have them on right now, and we'll demonstrate a little bit of the range. Okay, he's got a Fatebringer. Got explosive payload, Eye of the Storm. He's got the accurized for the +10 range, and then he's got the handling masterwork, and then that full bore gives him that great increase to range. Okay. Now with the Darcy on here, you can see I'm at 34 meters. I'm hitting 70 to the head, and when he shoots me with that Time Lost Fatebringer, he's going to shoot me for 70 to the head as well, and sometimes 71 because the explosive payload has a weird damage. So it has very, very comparable range between the two weapons. So when you're thinking of which one has better range or which one is going to be the longest range one, really it doesn't make a huge difference in that department. Really what it comes down to is what perks are you looking for when you use this weapon? And across the board, in my opinion, I think that the Fatebringer has better dueling perks for PvP. Now that being said, it doesn't have quick draw like the Palindrome has, which can always be really nice if you're, shoot your shotgun. Maybe you're rocking a frag to this chaperone, whatever it may be. You body them, you injure them, you hurt them. You swap over to this weapon really fast to clean them up. I do this a lot. I actually really like the Palindrome for that reason. But overall, explosive payload flinches people a little bit more, and that's why I think this is a little bit nicer. Along with Eye of the Storm proccing, all right, when you get to that third shot, that Eye of the Storm is procced. It makes it really, really easy and consistent to land 3 taps with this weapon. So I think that that does give Fatebringer Time Lost an advantage. You could also be using something in here like opening shot overall, but overall I think that the Fatebringer has a little bit of advantage because of those reasons. The rangefinder on this weapon rather, giving it comparable to a weapon that doesn't need rangefinder is also kind of a bit of a wasted perk in some ways, right? It gives you added zoom, so that's sort of a downside. A lot of people don't like the added zoom. And then the Fatebringer Time Lost doesn't even need rangefinder and it has very comparable range to this Palindrome. So the last thing we'll mention is that the actual model, when the weapon is fired, is the advantage definitely goes to Palindrome. You can see how it's much more clear to see the weapon, whereas when you're shooting the Fatebringer, it has like that little light off to the side and it kind of blocks you. It kicks up straight, so you could almost lose the target while you're firing the weapon. So I think that the advantage when firing this weapon goes to the Palindrome, and if you're looking for a quick draw weapon, obviously Palindrome is going to win that. But overall, if I had to choose, if it was $1 million tournament and a 1v1, I would definitely choose the Fatebringer Time Lost over the Palindrome. If you disagree, let me know down in the comments below why it is that you disagree, and I'll be reading all those comments. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.